Hey, folks, Dr. Joe Esposito here. Thanks for being with us today. I am so happy that you're here today. I wish I could see your smiling faces. What we're talking about today are things that suppress your immune system. Now, if you remember a while ago, not long ago, there was a thing called COVID around. Maybe you didn't hear about it. It was in the news a little bit. And the people that were most affected by COVID, adversely affected, were people that had challenges. They were challenged. They were overweight. They had pre-existing conditions. They had comorbidities. I did a show on this when COVID first came out. And nobody that I could see was addressing the comorbidities. And that bothered me. What if somebody had heart disease or diabetes or cancer or obesity, and we could treat that condition? Would we lower the risk of getting COVID? And the answer was yes. Now, I'm not a COVID expert. I'm not a medical doctor. But I do know that the patients that I saw that were healthier did well. Most of them didn't even have any effects whatsoever. The people that were sicker were the ones that seemed to have the most dramatic reactions. So I'm not saying I have a cure for COVID. I'm not saying this is going to solve all the world's problems. But these are things that you're doing every single day that can weaken your immune system. And we're going to talk about what to do about it. Number one, lack of sleep. This is a big issue. Not everybody sleeps through the night. I don't sleep through the night every night. Sometimes I wake up with exciting ideas and I have a notepad next to my bed. And I wake up and I have the worst handwriting in the world, by the way. When I was in grammar school and high school, I was a straight A student except for 2 classes. Can you imagine what they were? One was penmanship, which you don't know how I write. And the other was conduct. Surprising. We had conduct grades back then. And because my brain was always racing, I always wanted to learn new stuff. And I guess looking back now, I was probably really bored. It was just basic stuff. And I take a test, I get an A, I was like, I got another A, what the heck? But I like learning new things. But sometimes at night I wake up and I still have this mind racing. So what I found is I have to write it down. If I don't write it down, I can't go back to sleep. So I keep thinking, I got to remember to do this. Got to remember to tell Joe something. Got to remember and I couldn't do it. So I have a notepad next to my bed and I write in the dark with my bad handwriting. And about 30% of the time I look at it and I go, I have no idea what that says. So then I leave it. I stick it on the dashboard of my car. If you ever look at my car, I have sticky notes all over my dashboard. And eventually it comes to me. Usually. Every now and then, after 2 days, I throw it away. But it's like, oh, that's what I was going to do. I got to ask Joe about something or other. Or Debbie asked me about this. And I got to remember that. So writing things down, if you have thoughts at night, is really helpful. Journaling is basically what it boils down to. So journaling is extremely helpful to calm your brain because then you wrote it down. Even if you never read it again, you took it out. If you take antibiotics, it can affect your digestive system, and that can affect your sleep. So if you go to our website, drjoe.com, listen to the show we did on sleep. Just type in sleep in the search bar and listen to the show. I think we did 2 hours on nothing but sleep, and it's really good information that hopefully will be helpful for you. Anxiety can weaken your immune system. Just having anxious thoughts can weaken your immune response in as little as 30 minutes. Constant stress takes even a bigger toll on you. If you have trying to fend off things like the flu, if you have viral infections, if you have shingles. Dealing with anxiety is a biggie. Now, if you go to our website, drjoe.com, and listen to the show we did on brain function, we talk a lot about the neurotransmitters, dopamine, norepinephrine, GABA, serotonin, and how to fix that. A lot of anxiety and emotional issues are related to the digestive system. Because your stomach is where we absorb, digestive system is where we absorb our nutrients that are eventually reassembled into neurotransmitters in your brain. So every case I've ever seen, I've been in practice 37 years. I've missed a half a day of work in 37 years. Every patient I've ever seen in my career, and there have been thousands that have emotional or mental issues, have an undiagnosed or untreated digestive issue. And very few people put the two together. And we'll say, okay, you got emotional issues and you got digestive issues. No, you have one issue. And so we might get them on something like Dr. Joe's digestive enzymes, which helps break down food, break down proteins into amino acids. Amino acids become neurotransmitters. They might have celiac, Crohn's, colitis, irritable bowel syndrome. We get those patients off all wheat and all dairy products. And I think everybody should come off wheat and dairy, personally. If you give up wheat and dairy, you'll be amazed how much better your immune system works and how much better your digestive system works. I beg my patients, if they have an autoimmune disease, thyroid problems, Hashimoto's, if they have lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, these are autoimmune diseases, I beg them to get off wheat and dairy products. Most do, some don't. The ones that don't inevitably come back to me and say, it's not getting any better, Dr. Joe. Okay, let's go back to day one. Let's cut out the wheat and the dairy and let's see what happens, as if it's a new thought. And when they do, inevitably they come back and they go, wow, I feel so much better. So consider cutting out wheat and dairy. That's going to help tremendously. Fixing your gut is going to be huge. I take a digestive enzyme whenever I eat a cooked meal. So if I go out for my favorite cuisine, Ethiopian, take a digestive enzyme. If I eat soups, I take a digestive enzyme. If I eat something raw, like for example, yesterday at lunch, I had carrots and celery. And that about my whole lunch. It was such a busy day. I didn't have to take a digestive enzyme. But if I eat cooked food, I take a digestive enzyme. It really is one of the secret supplements. People say, what are doctor's secrets? That's one of my secrets. Take digestive enzymes. I also take Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source every day, and those also have digestive enzymes in them. So I want to take the stress off my digestive system so that that's one less thing my body has to worry about. And it helps keep my immune system strong. So these are just more tricks. Again, it's not going to solve all the world's problems, but certainly is going to help. I cannot stress enough the importance of vitamin D. Vitamin D3, not D2. D2 is synthetic, D3. Vitamin D3 helps boost your immune system. It helps absorb calcium into the body, and then vitamin K2 helps drive that calcium into the bones. And so that's why the supplement I take is vitamin D3 with vitamin K2 in it. I solved the problem for you. And that's on the website, drjoe.com, my vitamin D supplement. Now, if you're out in the sun about 10, 15 minutes a day, if you're light-skinned, if you're dark-skinned, maybe a little longer, the way I tell is my skin starts to feel warm. If I'm out in the sun long enough for my skin to feel warm, I've been out in the sun long enough, I don't need vitamin D that day. Now, if you rush to shower, you may not absorb most of the vitamin D because the UVB rays interact with cholesterol in your skin to create the vitamin D, and that's why when you're out in the sun, you get this greasy feeling. That's vitamin D being formed on your skin. If you shower it off right away, you don't have a chance to absorb it. You're getting some, but the longer you leave it on, the longer it's going to be, the better off it's going to be absorbed. In the winter, you have to take vitamin D, folks. Unless you're on the equator, down in Florida, something like that, where it's tropical, you're going to have to take vitamin D as far as I'm concerned. I take 5 drops of Dr. Joe's vitamin D every day. That's 5,000 international units. I don't agree with the minimum standard of 600. I think it should be higher than that. I think it should be about 5,000 IUs or international units a day. The reason I say that is I've monitored my blood vitamin D, and at that level, I'm right around 58, 60 nanograms per milliliter. That's, in my opinion, ideal. Acceptable is 30 nanograms per milliliter. I like the 60 to 80 nanograms per milliliter. At that level, and I talked about this when COVID first hit, you can reduce your risk of COVID by 50%. Wow. Why isn't that on every newscast? I don't know. So vitamin D is really important to keep the immune system strong. Medications can certainly weaken the immune system. If you're taking drugs that treat allergies, arthritis, lupus, irritable bowel syndrome, organ transplant, corticosteroids, for example, reduce inflammation, but they also weaken the immune system. And that's what a corticosteroid is. You're having an inflammatory reaction at your immune system. We shut down your immune system. So you stop that inflammatory reaction. Now, sometimes that's absolutely necessary. You need to have that. However, that being said, when do you stop? How many people have been on steroids for years? Really weakening their immune system. So it's really important that you build up the immune system. And we can do that with several things. Vitamin D, of course, we talked about that. Probiotics. I take Dr. Joe's probiotics every day. I had a patient email me the other day, Dr. Joe, I don't need to take your products. I take yogurt. And they named a brand name. Now, the problem with yogurt, and I live in Georgia, so in Georgia, you can't serve milk unless it's pasteurized. You can't serve a lot of products unless they're pasteurized. So we can make yogurt. It has a ton of bacteria in it, good bacteria. But what happens is then we pasteurize it, killing off most of the probiotics. So the numbers you see as the probiotics are before it's pasteurized, before it's shipped, before it's left in your refrigerator for too long, before it's left outside, maybe in a truck somewhere. So I take Dr. Joe's probiotics every day. Now, you can have something called SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, very rare. So unless you have that, I would say take a probiotic every day as well to keep the immune system strong. I also take glutathione. Glutathione is the master antioxidant. It helps the liver. It helps fight disease. Glutathione is another magic supplement that nobody really talks about. And I take it every day. It's on the website, drjoe.com, on the store, okay? So for my immune protocol, super greens and essential source, vitamin D, glutathione, and probiotics. That's my protocol for that. I have different protocols for different things. That's part of my protocol every day. And I can't remember the last time I even had a scratchy throat. So must be working. I don't know, unless I'm just really lucky in avoiding all viruses, germs, and bacteria my entire life. So, and I ain't young, kids. I know I'm getting all on in the years here. So I want to do everything I can to keep that immune system strong. Other things that'll weaken the immune system is you're not eating enough, my favorite foods, fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. Foods that help your body fight, make more white blood cells and fight off infections are fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. Things like zinc, beta-carotene, vitamin A, C, E. These are other nutrients that are necessary for proper immune function. You get them from where? Fruits and vegetables, nuts, and seeds. So that's why I want you to make most of your diet consist of plant-based foods. Plant-based foods fill you up with fiber. There was just a study I read yesterday on that if the fiber slowly pushes the food through your colon and helps you feel satisfied longer. It helps lower your body fat percentage, strengthens the immune system. There's no downside to eating right, except one. Eating right makes you feel better, you save a ton of money, you go to the bathroom better, your love life improves, your brain functions better, you're probably going to live longer, it fights the aging process. It's cheaper, way cheaper than anything you're doing right now. The only downside is the bad food tastes good. It's been 35 years since I've had any animal products at all. And I still remember a meatball sandwich with provolone cheese on a crunchy Italian bread. I can taste it right now just as I'm talking about it. I used to love double beef cheese hamburgers from a certain fast food restaurant. In fact, they were 89 cents at the time when I was young and when they were on sale with coupons. And I can still remember the flavor of them. And so they tasted great. Doesn't mean it's good for you. So if we can somehow, get people hooked on, blackberries, we'd be great. But we're not. So you have to somehow think a little bit. And what I tell people is this. Whenever you put something in your mouth, I want you to think, is this going to be good for me? Is it going to be bad for me? If it's going to be bad for me, I go to column B. Is there an alternative? If there's no alternative, well, then that's it. But almost always there's an alternative. So start thinking about that. What alternatives do you have to eating better? And if you don't know what to eat, go to our website, drjoe.com, and type in the words, so what can I eat? And if you type that in, it'll bring you to a lecture that I did. It was just me in a studio one day at the station. And it's a whole hour, breakfast, lunches, dinner, snacks, what to eat, cleaning out your pantry, stocking your pantry. So it's a real easy thing. And the cost to listen to that show is absolutely free. There is a cost. I want you to, this is on the honor system. I want you to follow us on social media. My handle is at Dr. Joe Esposito. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. We post every single day, and I want you to follow us. I need your help, by the way, because we need to become more influential, and you guys, the only ones who can do that. The more followers you have, the more influential you become. So please do that. That's your cost for anything you do on the website. It's free. It's on the honor system. Just follow us on social media if you're not. So listen to the show called So What Can I Eat? I wrote a book. The first book I ever wrote was called Eating Right for the Health of It. And the first half of the book tells you how to change your diet. And the second half of the book is well over 200 recipes. Everything vegan, everything gluten-free. So you don't know what to eat. I got lectures on it. I've got books on it. I've got guides on it. There's no reason why you can't say, well, Dr. Joe, I don't know what to eat. I'll tell you what to eat. You have to eat anyway. You might as well eat good foods. Eating more fruits and vegetables is going to help tremendously. And then, of course, we have Super Greens and Essential Source. Essential Source is like the best smoothie ever in the history of the world in a powder form. It's quick, it's easy, incredibly inexpensive, convenient. Had a patient call me yesterday. It was an emergency, and I was really busy. So I run to the phone, and I said, yes, what is it? And she said, can I take Super Greens and Essential Source on a plane with me? I said, yes, you can. Okay, thank you. So don't say it's an emergency. Don't cry wolf unless it really is an emergency. So I travel with it everywhere I go. We ship it all over the world. The stuff's just amazing. That's the minimum supplements I think everybody should be taking. Other things that can weaken the immune system, that's what we're talking about today. How about smoking pot? Smoking pot can inflame your lungs. If you use it regularly, You're going to have the same breathing problems you have with cigarettes. And especially with things that, viruses that can affect your lungs, like, I don't know, COVID, for example. You want to take care of your lungs. And if you're blowing what I used to say 100 billion free radicals in every puff of cigarette. Same thing with pot. I mean, it's a smoke. And 100 billion is like Pac-Man eating away at your lungs. Waka, 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 waka. And I said 100 billion free radicals. And then years later, I did some research again, and I was wrong. So I stand corrected. It's not 100 billion free radicals per puff of cigarette. It's 100 trillion free radicals per puff of cigarette. Per puff. So if you just want to just tear up your lungs, like pouring acid into your lungs, smoke. By the way, vaping, not better. It may be less free radicals, but it has other dangerous toxic effects as well. So vaping is not, oh, I'm vaping, I'm doing better for myself. No, it's still bad. And these things weaken the immune system. Somebody I work with, vegan, healthy, took supplements, vaped constantly, got COVID, 2 weeks, couldn't get out of bed. You think to yourself, wait a minute, this guy was young, he ate right, he took supplements. The vaping, I believe, was the reason why. So other things that weaken the immune system, high-fat diets, which goes to what? Cutting out animal proteins, because animal proteins have animal fats in them. Saturated fats, hydrogenated oils, when you cook them, they become hydrogenated. Cutting back on your fat intake is really important. Now, if you get your fat from food, nuts, seeds, avocados, that's okay. Had a patient come in the other day, big guy, and he said, Dr. Joe, I'm fat, I'm impotent, I'm sick, I'm in pain, I don't know what to do, I'm going to do anything you say. I said, okay. So I wrote out a protocol for him like I do for all our patients, and he says, oh, I can't give up soda. I said, okay. I can't give up meat. Okay. Can't give up my cheese sandwiches. Okay. I don't know what else to tell you. Okay. So we went round and round a few times, and he says, well, I like avocados. Can I have 4 avocados a day? No, that's too much fat. Even though it's good fat, it's too much fat. So the way, if you eat it, you wear it is pretty much a rule. So the less added fat you put in your diet, the better, and don't go overboard with the food that even contains it. Even nuts. People say, Dr. Joe, I want to gain weight. Eat nuts and avocados. I want to lose weight. Cut back on your nuts and avocados. If you're eating a plant-based diet, of course. Not getting outside enough will weaken the immune system. And a lot of people have sat in for a long time now. Sunlight is going to energize special cells in your body called T cells, letter T, T cells, and that helps fight infection. Being outdoors increases the T cell levels. It also helps you breathe better. It keeps the body in motion. We talked earlier about the sacro-occipital pump and keeping the body in motion to pump cerebrospinal fluid. So find an outdoor activity that you like. Try different things. I like hiking. I like kayaking. I like gardening. So find something that you like and go do it. And just get out of the house. I like going to estate sales. So maybe on a Saturday or Sunday, look up estate sales in your area and go to the estate sales, park far away, and walk around the estate sales. Do something that you enjoy doing. And I think you'll be very pleased with how much better you feel. We talked about smoking, marijuana, cigarettes, same thing, folks. If you do it, you got to stop. Here's the trick that I give. I did a show on addiction. If you go to the website, drjoe.com, listen to the show we did on addiction. Really covered the neurophysiology of addiction in there. But what I find is when people are addicted, whether it's drugs or sex or food or smoking, whatever it is, gambling, the brain is deficient in neurotransmitters. It's deficient specifically in dopamine. And so the body tries to stimulate outside exogenous sources to get into the body, not stimulate, but take in to create dopamine. So when you nourish the body, when you give the body large amounts of highly absorbable, high-quality nutrients, the brain is able to essentially reboot itself. So I find many patients have reported that if they take things like Dr. Joe's Super Greens, Dr. Joe's Essential Source, cut out the 7 deadly sins, probiotics, vitamin D, when we get them on a supplement protocol and a nutrition protocol, and we get them under chiropractic care to make the nervous system work more efficiently, countless patients have come to me and said, Doc, I kicked my habit. I've been in AA for years, but I always wanted to drink. Now I don't want to drink anymore. And AA, I wish they would teach more nutrition and biochemistry. I love AA. I'm a big supporter of AA. I went to an AA meeting once, and I sat there, my brain racing, going, oh my gosh, give me 20 minutes with these people, and I'll change their lives. And they wouldn't let me speak because they were drinking diet soda, which blew my mind. And I realized that they were drinking diet soda because aspartame breaks down to aspartic acid, phenylalanine, and methyl esters. Methyl esters is methanol. Methanol is wood alcohol. If you're drinking diet sodas and you're an alcoholic, you're drinking small amounts of methanol. So they wouldn't let me speak because I wasn't an alcoholic. And I thought, man, that stinks. I could save lives right now. And I don't have that opportunity because I'm not an alcoholic, which I thought was a stupid rule. I support AA, but I just think it was a stupid rule. So if you have these issues and you have addictions, nourishing the brain many times allows the brain to reboot itself. And of course, alcohol just blows out your immune system, lowers your testosterone levels. It does so many different things. So it hurts me when I see people drink, and it hurts me when I see people suffer. And it kind of sucks to be me, because I know I have the answers for so many people, and I just don't have any way to get them the message. A friend of mine, I told the story on my live show on Sunday nights. A friend of mine, she died of a sleeping pill overdose. Well, I found out yesterday it was not accidental. She killed herself. Beautiful girl, good friend, not a good friend, but somebody I knew. And she was in so much pain, and she was so sick that she drove to a car, parked on the side of the road, took a bunch of sleeping pills so that somebody would find her. She didn't want to be in her house and, the body start to rot. And she killed herself. And it hurt me. It hurt me to think that what if I'd sat down with her, and what if there was some advice I could give her? Maybe, I don't know. I think about Prince, the singer. He was in Atlanta, he did a concert in Atlanta and flew home, and he died. And he died of pain pills. Too many pain pills. And I always wondered, and again, there's no answer, it's a rhetorical wondering, what if we'd gotten our hands on Prince and got him chiropractic care, fixed, I don't know if he had digestive issues, got him on some good supplements, got him on an anti-inflammatory diet. I don't know anything about Prince except he was amazing. But what about you? What if you have a health issue that could be easily fixed? Wouldn't it stink that you didn't get it fixed? The biggest complaint I get, 37 years now, biggest complaint I get is, why didn't I do this sooner? Why did I suffer for so long when all I had to do is get chiropractic care, get diet straightened out, get on some good supplements, maybe do things like PRP. PRP is a medical procedure, and you take your platelets, we take your blood, spin it down, and take out what's called the platelets, and re-inject it back into the body to stimulate new growth and act as an anti-inflammatory. And it's great for arthritis in the knees, and the shoulder, and the wrist. You can do it in your hair to get hair growth. You can do it in your face to reduce wrinkles. Erectile dysfunction. Women that have issues with the bladder, or if the vagina has been weakened over time, you can put it into that area to stimulate new growth. Is it a guarantee? No, nothing's a guarantee in healthcare. But I can tell you, I personally have seen amazing results, and I've seen it happen with so many other patients. So if you're ready to get well, if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, go to our website, drjoe.com, make an appointment to come see us. We accept most insurances, car accidents, sports injuries. If you're ever in a car accident, if the car was damaged, you were damaged, in my experience. I've never seen it not happen. Get to us immediately. We accept most insurances. First visit for us, it's normally over $700 with the new pricing. Exam, x-rays, consultation, going over the x-rays, nutrition evaluation, chiropractic adjustments. We've reduced that to $299. So if you want to make an appointment, do it now. My doctors fill up very quickly. So if you want to do it, go to the website right now, drjoe.com, or you can call us, and we'll get that booked for you. Folks, follow us on social media at Dr. Joe Esposito. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next time.